Nimrod. Rising from destruction.
There is a passageway to the most evil place you can imagine. A gate behind which the demons...
New world order of ancient times, and with that, we have to ask a question. When it says he became a mighty man, when it says a mighty man, it means there's something about him that's changed. Now, a lot of people say, well, maybe he found some type of technology in the past and it changed him. Well, I believe so. I find it very interesting that in the book of Jasher, it says here at part 1908 AM, Nimrod is born. So if you have the copy of Jasher, like I said, I'll have a link down below. And the garments of the skin which God made for Adam and his wife, then they went out of the garden and were given to Cush. Now, these garments were created to cover the nakedness and the shame of Adam and Eve. And Yahweh, it says in Genesis that he gave them garments to cover themselves of their shame. Now, it says that these garments still existed, and after the death of Adam and his wife, the garments were given to Enoch, the son of Jared. And when Enoch was taken up to God, he gave them to Methuselah, his son. And at the death of Methuselah, Noah took them, brought them to the ark, and they were with him until he went out of the ark. And in their going, Ham stole these garments. Now you understand, remember, Ham was the one that saw the nakedness of his father. Some people say he did something to his father, and that's why his son was cursed, not him, because God already blessed him. Other people think that if you saw your father's nakedness, it also says, if you go by the scriptures, that means he did something to his mother. And that bothers a lot of people, but the thing is that whatever Ham did was an abomination. It was a sin that was carried over from the flood, that was still in his heart after he saw what Yahweh had done to eradicate all sin. That seed of deceit, that seed of bitterness, that seed of rebellion was in his heart still, and he did something to Noah, and in doing so, Noah cursed his son and his grandson. And so it goes on and says, and then, so when Ham steals it, it says, when Ham begot the firstborn Cush, he gave it the garments in secret, and they were with Cush many days. Cush also concealed from this his sons and brothers, and when Cush had begotten Nimrod, he gave him those garments which he loved for him. Nimrod grew up, and when he was 20 years old, he put these garments on. Now, what's the significance? Yahweh created something for Adam and Eve. It had been passed down from generation to generation. It was stolen out of that rebellious heart. It was stolen to take that away. Nimrod finds it, or is given to Nimrod, and it is given to him, and he puts them on. Nowhere else do you see where Noah put it on. You don't see anywhere where Methuselah put it on. You don't even see where Enoch even put it on. They didn't. There was something about it that was to them divine and holy and needed to be respected and protected. But it was stolen, because if they were wearing it, I don't think it would have been harder for Ham to steal it if Noah was wearing it. But he wasn't wearing it. He was carrying it. And he had it in a nice place. And then Cush had it. He kept it hidden. Marveled. You can even go as say he marveled at this thing. And so he saw his grandson, his son Nimrod. He was like, this child, there's something different about this child. I'm going to make him different. Gives it to Nimrod. Nimrod has it. But then when he turns 20, he's like, I wonder what it would be like to put that on. So he puts it on, and Nimrod became strong. And we put on the garments. God gave him the mighty and strength, and he was a mighty hunter in the earth. Yea, he was a mighty hunter in the field, and he hunted the animals, and he built altars, and he offered upon them the animals before the Lord. Goes on down that when Nimrod has his invasion and he's trying to set up his own kingdom, he becomes proud eventually, it says, And in time, Nimrod becomes so obsessed at being a god and being revered. He has decided that his point is he wants to create this tower, which I believe is an earlier depiction of a Stargate. Not only a Stargate, I believe that it's that the Tower of Babel was the beginning of his way of waging war. I find it very interesting that other stories and folklore and history is where humans tried to fight against the gods. He must have thought that the Tower of Babel could reach God. There had to be something about it, and they would open up a Stargate. Is that what we're seeing with CERN? Are we seeing that this ancient technology is being recreated today to redo the same thing that Nimrod tried to do back in the Old Testament? Create a Stargate to get to heaven. I mean, he believes that he can actually invade heaven. He even shoots arrows into heaven from the Stargate. He believes that he can obtain ultimate power, and he himself believes that he can dethrone Yahweh. And he talks about setting up his own gods up there, which means, in a way, he's wanting to take back the fallen ones. He wants to take the fallen angels back with him to go up there as rebellion and say, we're putting these guys here who are our forefathers, who begot the Nephilim, who begot the giants. And now that I am one of them, I want to establish my kingship in heaven. Could we be seeing the return of Nimrod? Could we be seeing the return of the man also known as Gilgamesh? Returning this person as being the Antichrist, to sit here and set up his kingdom here on earth so that he can wage war. Because when you look at the book of Revelation, and which I've always wondered, how can you imagine having a war against Yohevah Elohim? But something takes place in the book of Revelation where men believe they have the ability to actually wage war against Yohevah Elohim. But if you look at the book of Jasher, you look at the book of Enoch, you see that this is the same principles that Nimrod had when he created the tower that was later on called Babel, which was in Babylon. He believed that he could invade heaven and fight Yohevah. Something about these garments made him stronger than a normal man. Something about these garments made him more human than human. I believe that these garments is what genetically altered him and his mindset to think that he could be superior. What if Nimrod returns? What if these temples of Baal are depictions of his return? And that CERN is the final key to the gate, to open up the portal, to open up the abyss, to release Apollyon, as it says in chapter 9, verses 11 of Revelation. And then you see this war take place where man thinks they can wage war against God. He sets up and stands up in the temple and tells people he is God. What if we see Nimrod returning in a way that we've already been accepting, in a way we've already been worshiping? If that's the case, then you need to come out of Babylon. You need to come out of your pagan holidays. You need to repent on all your sin. If you've had multiple partners, if you've been taken a part of things that were considered a sin or abomination, you've not turned from that sin back to Yohevah Elohim. If you participate in these holidays that are pagan, that people know they are pagan, but they say they're Christians, it's a lie. You're lying to yourselves. If you've taken a part of that, you've got to repent. Even myself had to repent for all these things, especially before I even did this video. So you need to repent. Turn away from your sin. Turn back to Yohevah Elohim. Turn back to what they say, oh, you're getting back to the Torah. Yes, we're getting back to Yahweh's feast. They're not Jewish feasts. These are Yahweh's feast. And you're getting back to them. Because there is going to be a time, and the line is being drawn right now in the sand, and you're going to have to depict or pick which side you're going to be on. But if you hold on to these pagan traditions, these pagan beliefs, and you can't let go of that paganism, then you're going to be standing against Yohevah, thinking that you're standing with him. These things are happening now, faster than ever. And no man knoweth the hour except Yehovah Elohim of his return. But you need to repent and turn from your sin, and repent and turn back to him. And accept Yeshua the Messiah, Jesus Christ, as his son. And accept that he is the prophet whom we must obey. I know I covered a lot in this video. I hope it answers a lot of your questions. Feel free to leave comments down below. Remember, let's be respectful on anyone's ideas and opinions, no foul languages, and no belittling one another. Please pay attention to your surroundings. You never know what lies around the corner.